Movies that feature humanoid robots prominently have a lot more time to develop them as characters in and of themselves, and they focus on telling a complex story rather than showing a cool image. Robots in films are humanized and treated as people, and as such their gendering is more complex.
Everybody downstairs! Come on, you guys, I got a surprise for you.
What is it, Daddy?
Wait. Wow.
By the year 2005,
Are you one's family?
I guess so.
every home will have an NDR 114.
Andrew, this is very good.
Thank you, sir.
I think it sucks.
Sucks. Chickens do not have lips.
He was designed to serve humans.
Would you please open the window?
One is glad to be of use.
Now jump. No! Out the window.
But there was something different about Andrew.
Two cannibals were eating a clown. One turns to the other and says, "Does this taste funny to you? How do you make a hanky dance? Put a little boogie in it."
What exactly is it doing?
He shows a number of characteristics like creativity, curiosity, friendship.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, Andrew.
It is a household appliance, and yet you act like it is man.
You're unique. I feel a responsibility to help you become whatever you're able to be.
This Christmas, witness one robot's extraordinary 200-year journey
He learns and grows all the time.
to become
This is an external physical upgrade only.
an ordinary man.
The secret to all this is imperfection. That's what makes us unique.
Like the shape of your head. It's huge.
This looks wonderful. Take the next step. Complete your destiny.
From the director of Mrs. Doubtfire comes an epic story
I saw the inner me.
that will bridge the gap between man and machine.
I am the proud owner of a central nervous system.
You can feel.
Will you perform an experiment just for the sake of science?
All right.
Kiss me. It's everything they say it is.
Bicentennial Man.
Look what I'm doing here. I am trying to make something of myself. I am trying to fulfill my destiny. Does she notice?
Could we talk about this another time?
Bicentennial Man is a film in which it makes sense for the robot to have a gender, at least in the case of Andrew. Andrew's goal is to become fully human, and he lives among humans and even has romantic relationships with humans, none of which would be possible without adopting a gender, because of the nature of our human society. However, the film never quite addresses the gendering of the other robots. At one point, we see a large number of robots who look identical to Andrew. I had assumed that all robots were largely gender neutral, that the owners named their robots however they liked, but referred to them as things rather than as gendered individuals. However, at one point Andrew meets a female robot named Galatea, which made me reconsider. Galatea was hand-built by a robotics expert, and is the only female robot seen in the film, but there is no indication whether she is therefore the only female robot, or there are many other female robots who simply weren't important to the plot. Her gender is somewhat relevant to her character, because she is introduced as a potential love interest for Andrew, but since her personality is simulated by a reprogrammable personality chip, which was intentionally added to make her more cheerful, she's never quite treated as a real person, and the potential romance is discarded quickly. Her main function in the plot is to serve as a foil for Andrew, a function that could have been served just as well by either gender. I suspect, then, that her gender was dictated partially by the romantic subplot and by her main function in the film's universe as the robotics expert's personal assistant. She does all his chores and housework, and since she was created within the context of human gender roles, it may be that these subservient roles dictated her gender, as they may have with the commercials shown earlier.
Think of me as your friend. We knew we could trust them.
A robot cannot harm a human being.
He knew
Well, that's just stupid.
we were wrong.
Gotcha.
There is no conspiracy.
Get off my car! Oh, hell no. Will Smith.
Wow.
iRobot.
The robots in this film have a much more gender-neutral design than in Bicentennial Man, perhaps because they are computer-generated and therefore do not have to match up with a human actor, as Andrew had to match Robin Williams. Persistent gender neutrality would have made sense in this film, because although Sonny is another robot with a personality, his personhood is never considered quite the same as humanity, and he does not wish to join human society as a human. However, he is given a male voice and treated as male by other characters. His name, Sonny, could have been female if spelled S-U-N-N-Y, but instead it is Sonny, S-O-N-N-Y, placing him firmly as a son to the scientist he called his father. It is possible that from the point of view of the filmmakers, the appropriate default gender for a robot is male. This would play into ideas that technology is traditionally the exclusive realm of men, as well as stereotypes that men are more logical and competent and far less emotional than women. Such an explanation may be reinforced by the characterization of Dr. Susan Calvin, the chief robopsychologist. Susan Calvin is portrayed as driven entirely by her work, divorced from emotions, and always logical. Characters within the film frequently refer to her personality as robotic and cold, with a certain level of disapproval. Her subplot involved falling in love with the main character and becoming more emotionally open, presented as a happy ending. Since Sonny and Susan's male co-workers frequently displayed the same drive, logic, and detachment without censure or pressure to change, I would argue that such personality traits were largely unacceptable for her because of her gender, and that even within the world of this movie, they are gendered characteristics which dictated that Sonny should be male.